Unit 24, our last unit in the course, is a review unit, but it uses in-basket simulations to help you produce documents for several types of businesses. We're skipping lesson 16 as far as documents go, but we will be producing documents for hospitality, retail, government, and manufacturing businesses. Our first project is another website, a bit smaller scale than our last project. I'm going to illustrate how to do it from within GDP this time, although you will still need to attach your MHT files to the assignment link. They do open from within GDP as MHT files, as it shows at the top of my screen here, Report-117-101.mht. I have reproduced all of the instructions for Report 117-101 and 117-102, but you will need to refer to the pages mentioned for the content of the projects. If you open the instruction files that I posted in Blackboard, as you see here on the right, you're responsible to read all of the introductory material and the simulation situation. Then you can either open within Word a new document and save it as Report 117-101.mht using hyphens, no spaces in the name. Or, as I did here, you can open it within GDP and it opens as an MHT file and is using Web Layout View. If you are starting from within Word, you will have to change to the Web Layout View. The first step is to change the title of the page to Suite Retreat Home. We're going to click the Office button, click Prepare Properties, and key the new title into the appropriate box on the Summary tab. You should click your name under Author and click OK. Now, as I said, working in Web Layout View, I want you to create an open table with 2 columns and 4 rows. The reason it's especially important to use the Web Layout View is because if you were in the regular normal page layout view, this table would appear centered on the page and you would not realize the critical need to actually center it horizontally on the page. So I'm going to select the entire table. This is to be an open table, so we're going to remove the borders and then we're going to center it horizontally. The Table Tools Layout tab, Properties, Alignment, Center, OK. OK, then to prepare, we are going to merge the cells in rows 3 and 4. That does mean separately, so I'm going to merge the 2 columns in row 3 and the 2 columns in row 4. Okay, move to column B, row 1, type Suite Retreat. Now, you should apply a style that will reflect a B theme and also size it similar to what you see on page 476. I'm moving to the Page Layout tab and selecting a theme from the menu here. In column B, row 2, type the contact information from the simulation description that you'll find before step 1. Okay, after we're typing that information and resizing a bit, we're ready for step 5. Merge the cells in column A, rows 1 and 2, and insert a picture related to a carefree beach environment. Resize. If you can't position it exactly where you want, check your text wrapping to be sure that it is square or in front of text. Okay, you can position it as illustrated in the book, right up against the text, or place it where you think it looks best. Now skip row 3, come to row 4, and insert a decorative horizontal line in the last row of the table. Remember how we did that in our last web project lesson, and you should resize it to extend the full length of the row. I'm going to move to the borders and shading group of commands. Move to the page border tab within this dialog box and click horizontal line down here in the lower left corner. You may have to wait for it to fill in some examples, but then you can choose the desired line and click OK. Choosing Pebbles, click OK, and then extend it the full width of the table. Okay, next step, place the insertion point outside the table below it and type the following line centered using the pipe symbol with one space before and after the pipe as shown here. This is going to be referred to as the link bar. Press enter one time, Control E to center, and press enter 2 times, and insert a centered open table with one column and one row. Remove the borders because this is an open table. And you're going to type the information shown on page 475. It should look like the home page on 476 with a bulleted list. Use decorative bullets. And you should apply some more themes with background color to make your page fit what your employer has requested. Remember that you can change font sizes because one of the key things you want to do with your web page is make it readable. So even after you apply a theme, consider enlarging the font. Now it should fit on one screen, so we'll take this down one notch, but readability is very key. Now let me see if I can show you how to change your bullet style. Notice here that you can choose some options in the bullet library, or you can define a new bullet. This is very easy to do by choosing a picture or a symbol, and then that bullet can be applied to your list. So get creative here and design your own bullet for your web page. Now one last thing I'd like to do is apply a background to our page. The themes itself are not applying background colors, so we're going to move to page color, choose a fill effect, go for a texture or a pattern, perhaps a gradient. Again, get creative and see what might give a nice beach effect to your web page. Okay, you should save it and then view it in a web page browser. And if you applied your web page preview button in our last project, it should be right up in your quick access toolbar. Let's click that and see how our page would look in a browser. Okay, that looks good to me. You'll be doing this again when we finish the rates page that is 117-102. Okay, if you've viewed the document, you can save it and return to GDP. If you created it within GDP like I have, or just close it and move on to the next document if you have not. If you're using GDP, then when it's time to attach it to the assignment link, look for 117-101.nht in your GDP data folder. Notice that when you return to GDP, it does not score it or let you review it. It just goes right on to the next report.